Welcome back to Dim Empire, guys. I'm Marshall McGee, your host, and it feels like we just went over this because we did. Sadly, we just filmed an amazing podcast, went pretty deep, but I clicked the wrong button and
Deleted everything.
deleted absolutely everything off the camera. And it's an internal memory camera. It's not an SD camera. So yeah, we for sure lost everything, I'm pretty sure. And I might be able to get a software and get it, but at that point, who cares? You know, and I have questions ready for us, and I had this whole podcast planned, but hey, sometimes life gets you down. The podcast we were talking about is advice for teenagers, and we're going to quickly hit on a couple of the important ones that I feel. And then we're going to get into what we want to talk about, which is something different, because we just talked about this for 30 minutes. We want to talk about something else. But definitely going to make sure you have a good podcast. So this one's going to be good. If you're a teenager that is struggling with something, open your ears right now, because we're about to get into it. So, what advice do you guys have for kids? It's my second time asking you guys this.
So, a big thing is just to pick good friends that have good standards, they don't drink underage or smoke, vape. But it's not like your friends have to be perfect kids. If your friend cracks a penis joke,
yeah,
no biggie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So
it depends on your standards. If that's something that you're really against, then pick friends that have the same standards as you. Or
and sometimes it's fine to joke around. It's just you gotta make sure that whenever the vape comes out, you're like, nope, see ya, not my friend.
Exactly.
So something that I hit on for 10 minutes, but I'm gonna make it a little shorter and sweet now that I know what I'm talking about, is my whole theory on life. And
it's 42.
By the way, I'm Henry Barker.
Oh yeah, I didn't introduce him. Sorry guys. It's weird because we just filmed this, but this is Ammon and that is Henry. Henry is my girlfriend's brother. Ammon has been a friend, family friend for quite some time. So that's them. Sorry guys, forgot to introduce you. But yeah, my whole theory on life is this right here. I'm just going to make it short and sweet. The whole thing about all jobs in society is they're all made up. Every job is made up ego. So all the adults that work important jobs, whether they're a government official, SRS, or is that how you say it? The SRS, right?
What?
Is that the tax organization?
Oh no, that's I forgot what it was.
I'm drawing a blank. I've literally talked about them every single day because I hate it.
Here, keep talking. I'm going to figure it out.
So, anyways, there's people like that in the organizations. There's teachers. There's so many things that, the job creates an ego for them. And in a way, we're all, well, not in a way, we are all human. The RSS or SRR?
I don't know.
How am I forgetting this name? I literally know this. Very importantly. Biden just doubled it.
He did?
Yeah. There's so many more of those guys. They're cracking down on tax like crazy. So that's why I have an LLC and a couple other things.
The IRAS.
IRS.
The IRS.
Yeah, the IRS.
Oh my goodness. Can't believe that. Son of a gun. So, yes, the IRS, there's people like that. There's teachers, government officials, presidents, and it's amazing that they do that job. That we all need them. But the whole thing is, it all comes down to ego. And whether you have a job or not, it kind of depends on how you treat people, which I personally do not like. Teachers, they get so caught up in being a teacher that they forget that we're human, they're human, and it's just not a good mix because, at the end of the day, we all poop the same way. We all go home at the end of the day and sleep at the end of the day. We're all equal. like beyond everything that has been made up, like government's been made up. It just at one point was a bunch of dudes around a table that just wrote things down on a paper, and somehow humans have been following that for years and generations. And it's definitely important to have an organized civilization. But you also have to remember that everyone's human. Like, if I saw a president, I'd be freaking out. Even if it was Joe Biden, I'd be freaking out because it's a president. It's cool. But, like, they're all human. We're all human. And it just, you've heard it a million times, but you just have to clear your mind and actually think about what that means. And every person doing their job is just acting like they're doing a job. A teacher's not a teacher. A teacher is a human that pretends to work as a teacher. Same way as math is not important. It's a made-up arithmetism that we adapted into our society. So there's things like that you have to understand. And it's a weird way of like thinking of life, and sometimes it's uncomfortable to think that way. But that's literally how I think. Anytime I'm talking to an adult, we're all human, and we're all literally equal. So the only thing that is 100% official is if you were born out of a woman, that is your mom. If a person mated with that woman, that is your dad. If there's multiple humans coming out of that woman, those are your siblings, your brothers and sisters. And so that's something to keep in mind. You know, everyone is equal. And if you are a teacher or a government official or whatever, just keep in mind that we're all equal, and to treat people that way beyond just being your job. So that's kind of a cool way to look at things.
So I see what Marshall is saying, except like I disagreed that like about what he said about the government kind of like, well, when we were recording it last time, he said, well, never mind, but pretty much
You can go ahead and say it.
less, like, I agree that less government wouldn't be a bad thing, but no government would just be chaos.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's something I forgot to say. I said in the last one, the one that got deleted, but it is so important to have all of those jobs, and it is amazing that we do have them. The whole thing that I was hitting on there is not that they're made up, but that the people have an ego that do those jobs, and they treat people like how their job is. So a teacher is going to treat a teenager, in some cases, like crap. You know, it's like they get in the class, shut up, sit down, put your phone away, listen up, sit down.
Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no going to the bathroom, whatever. So it is very important there. It's amazing that we have a society so organized, and it's pretty cool to think, but you do have to remind yourself that all things are made up and was someone's idea at one point. So it's life is not as important as you really think if you truly break it down in your mind. But like I said, all of those things are very important. So shout out to you if you're a teacher, changing the world one positive day at a time. And something we hit on the last one too was that sometimes the teacher wakes up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes the kids wake up on the wrong side of the bed. So it just really depends, and we all have to treat each other with respect, because sometimes teachers, you know for a fact they're having a bad day. You know, you might be their favorite student and they're chewing you out one day. It's like, what the heck? Come on. So if you are ever getting bullied by a teacher or chewed out for some reason, just remember my kind of theory here on that's kind of a made-up job. Like, it's truly, if you think about it, not as important as you think. But I don't want to make it sound like it's not important. It is very important. So it's something cool to think about. And then another thing we hit on was friends and who you hang around with. All of us have never vaped, smoked, or done any drugs that are not just like the normal painkillers like ibuprofen and crap. But we've not done any bad drugs, nothing like that. And all of us can for sure say that drugs and smoking and vaping is not cool. For some reason, I thought my older brother's generations was the generation. I thought at my generation it would end, that smoking was cool. But kids still smoke. And it's not cool whatsoever. What's cool is, being confident in yourself, being healthy, being wealthy, and being happy. Which
Stealthy.
is all things that take away whenever you do drugs and stuff like that. And it's also cool because every single day you wake up, you literally have an opportunity to quit whatever you're doing and just change your life. There's no such thing as a New Year's. There's no such thing as a year. It's just one day someone was like, hey, from this time to this time is a day, this time to this time is a week. And so everything in life is made up. You can totally go off of your own schedule, literally do what you want to do if it means making a positive impact on the humans around you. But that's basically, we went into a lot more detail in the last podcast, but that's basically the end of that whole genre. But now I'm going to move into little motivations because kind of got down a little bit, getting in the dirtiness of, going down on teachers, whatever. But now we're going to hit a positive message for teachers, for kids, for everyone, that we can all learn to love each other. But I'm going to hit you guys with this one, okay? This one's not, been said yet.
Oh.
So this was a thing that I saw off TikTok, and I wish I knew the dude's name. I'd for sure give him credit. If you know, let me know in the comments. There's this millionaire that was interviewing some people and on a podcast. This is how it went. If I gave you guys $1 million right now, say I was a millionaire, if I gave you guys $1 million, would you be happy?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you be happy for a week?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Would you let anyone get you down for that week? Maybe even months, You just got $1 million. Feel like $1 million,
Yeah.
You would not let anyone bother you, right?
Yeah.
You could get a speeding ticket. You're like, dude, I don't even care.
Yeah.
So now say I give you $10 million. That'd be fantastic, right? Maybe even a whole year, you guys would feel very confident in yourself. You'd ask out the girls, whatever, Why do you think people don't feel like that every day? Actually, no. That's not how it went. This is how it went, right here. But if I gave you that $10 million, you died. Would you take it? No. So you're telling me just living a day, just waking up in the morning is worth more than $10 million?
Yes.
Apparently.
Well, you were the one that chose it. You would feel invincible if you got $10 million. But if you were to die if you got it, obviously you wouldn't take it. Yeah. So waking up in the morning, sorry, toilet's going off or something up there. Just waking up, though, is worth more than $10 million to, I'm sure, almost everyone. And that's something to keep in mind whenever you wake up is your day is worth $10 million. Legit. You hear these things a million times where it's like sometimes people don't wake up. If you actually truly think about that, like dying, you actually could do that. And it's very possible. So even though you have horrible days, just like I've been working on in 2022, just like no matter how bad of a day I have, it's a good day to me. And we just got 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes of camera film off of an amazing podcast, just got deleted. But I asked these guys if they had the time, and they did, so we're refilming. We're not going to let anything get us down. So with that being said, there's a large possibility that you'll not be on this earth in a week, even a month. You don't want to always be thinking that way. But it's definitely a good reminder to know that even if you're just chilling and you watch Netflix all day, you kind of feel bad about yourself. You're like, dang, I did nothing today. There's no such thing as doing nothing in a day. If you're living, you're learning. Whether it's your brain learning or your body to learn how to move better, like even though you already know how to walk, if you walk more, you kind of learn how to walk even better. So no matter what, every single day you're always learning. And if you're on your phone, you're always learning. You're always learning how different people react on TikToks. You're learning how society is being made. You might be learning of people arguing and learning their points. You might be learning about a new car. So just keep in mind that no matter what happens in a day, it's learning and it's worth it. But that doesn't mean you can just have off days, it's really important to listen to fun podcasts, I like to listen to Joe Rogan and stuff. So just always keep in mind that every day is worth $10 million. And if you get in that mindset, you're very much so impossible to beat. So
I saw this thing on TikTok. It was one of those quote things. It said, "Die with memories, not dreams."
There you go. Die with memories, not dreams. That's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Might have to put that up on my wall or something.
Let your dreams stay dreams. You gotta
Yeah.
do something with the stuff you want to do.
And I have a quote right there. It says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're too small. So whenever you're planning something, plan it big. If your plan's to make $50,000 in 1 year, make it 100,000. Always double what you think your goal should be. That way you don't slow down getting to it. Or if you're on track to make the goal, you might slow down a little bit because you're like, I'm on track. I don't need to be stressing that much. But if your goal is absolutely huge, then you're going to be working 100% the whole way till you hit it. So, and a lot of people, whenever it comes to goal planning, it's oftentimes better just keep it to yourself. Because I know there's a lot of people, whenever I was explaining Empire to people or whatever business thing, a lot of people are like, that's kind of dumb, just stay in school. You're a high schooler, you're a kid. Just stay in school. I had multiple family members say that, which I respect their opinions because everyone's gone to school before me. For generations, everyone's gone to school, but sometimes there's a person out there that is different. So
there was an interview with Mr. Beast. He said, "Your ideas are stupid until you succeed, and then they're genius."
Yep. So yeah, just always be working towards your goals, and sometimes it is actually hard, but you don't really need motivation to do your goals if you think about it. You just literally do it. If you're in bed right now watching YouTube, once you get off this channel, unless you're about to go to bed, I recommend just get off your butt. The whole thing is whenever you think about your goals, sometimes you create anxiety and stuff. So I'd have your goals written down, but I wouldn't think about them all the time. Just set smaller goals to be able to achieve those goals, and whenever you're sitting there, just do it. The first time I decided to do business, I was sitting up there in the living room with a stack of business cards that I wanted to pass out to my neighbors, and I was very scared to do that. That was 8 months ago. I was very scared, and I was like, crap, I do not want to pass out cards right now. It's I spent months planning this thing. It was originally called Plan M, but I changed it to M Empire. And I spent months planning it, months talking to people, but then once it actually came down to doing the work, I never wanted to do it. But I just sat there for an hour with business cards in my hand, just really not wanting to do it, very uneasy feeling. And then finally, I just actually stood up and did it. And I felt very accomplished after it. And it sucks because you're walking up to your neighbor's house and then the anxiety gets bigger. And I have a pretty big neighborhood, so I don't know everyone in it. So I went door to door knocking and sold my pitch to everyone, and that was really hard. And Eamon can account for that because about half a month to a month later, I went door to door knocking with Eamon.
Yeah, it was awful.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Well, you went with him?
Yeah. It was not fun.
No, not at all. It's hard. And a lot of times if you get a door slammed in your face or a person saying no soliciting, which basically means you're not allowed to knock on their door to sell something, a lot of people will get you down. And that is definitely the hardest thing because I probably went to 100 or 2 houses by myself in one day and got 0 business calls from it. And that sucked. But I kept going, I kept learning, kept doing it. And if you really just don't give up, like, the whole thing about giving up is kind of cringy. But if you just don't stop always working on it, and you're always thinking about it, and you're always manifesting it, eventually you'll do it. If you're sitting in the living room and your house is cold, but you're in a warm blanket, but you're hungry, and there's chips in the other room that you want to go get, if you think about it long enough, you're going to go get those chips. So no matter how crappy your situation is, if you're just sitting there, and if you're always thinking about it, it's a human instinct to move for it. So that's kind of how I didn't give up, is motivation is temporary. I mean, you can always be watching those motivational videos and stuff, but that's temporary. The whole thing about my piece of advice is, if you want to be good at something, you have to be consistent. So every single day wake up at the same time, every single night go to bed at the same time, every single day work out at the same time, do everything around the same time. And consistency overweighs motivation times 100. So literally just doing it every single day is way better than just watching motivational videos. Because with me, whenever I have little successes, whether I sell something, or if I get a business call, or if I buy a brand new trailer or something, like, those couple of weeks you feel amazing after it. And that's kind of the $10 million area where it's like you feel amazing because you just accomplished something. And so whenever you get good at doing what you're doing, your motivation is yourself, because you're always trying to up yourself with your ideas and your planning, and eventually it builds on each other and you just do it. But 99% of you that are watching, if you set a goal, you're probably not going to accomplish it, because it's just a normal human thing that humans have a hard time doing that. But there's going to be that 1% that breaks through and actually has motivation to do something. And sometimes you just don't have motivation, but you just have to physically do it. You have no motivation to get off the couch into the cold room and lose your warmth to go get chips, but eventually you do it because you're hungry. And if you're hungry enough for success, you'll go after it. But you actually have to want it. You can't just be, oh, I just saw that kid get out of a Corvette or a Lamborghini or whatever. You're like, I want to be like him. Like, eventually, years from that thought will translate into you wanting to actually do it. It takes multiple times in your life of seeing someone succeed for you to want to succeed. So once you want it, you'll be able to get it. But if you're not motivated to get it, it usually means you don't want it. So that's why motivational videos, sometimes you don't listen, you don't hear what you want to hear. And it's because you actually don't want it. So if you want it, you'll for sure be able to accomplish whatever. I truly believe that you'd be able to. I mean, someone's literally making a spaceship right now. That's crazy. How do you even design metal into doing that and making gases form to make an explosion? That's my piece of advice. If you want it, you'll definitely be able to get it. But I'm done talking about that stuff. That was totally last podcast. Let's get into some conspiracy theories, boys.
All right. I'll start off. So, I love hearing crazy people's opinions because they're bogus, but, like, they're super interesting. And I love asking my dad about them because, you know, my dad, he's, like, he's, like, probably the smartest person I know personally. He's, like, a doctor, and he has, like, a degree in math. And
big time, yeah. He's a smart guy.
And so, like, I love just, like, telling him random stuff I saw online, like how, like, Nikola Tesla was going to make wireless energy, which, I mean, I don't know too much about, but that wasn't the crazy part. The crazy part was this guy, he was trying to convince the whole internet that the Egyptian pyramids were, like, ancient, like, they were like the Tesla coil, except they were, the pyramids were the Tesla coil pretty much, because they were, like, coated in limestone, and the gold, there was, the top of the pyramid was coated in gold. Oh. And then, then the hallways, they were made out of granite, which apparently are conductors of electricity. And so that powered their ancient civilizations.
I always thought about how the pyramids were made. I think that They could what if they just made it with like molds? Like they like had like a mold of the pyramid and then like poured like liquid into it and then it dried.
Yeah, where's the mold?
They took it off once it was done because like it's over.
Yeah, but where's the mold now?
Here's my thing.
Decomposed.
You'd need some pretty strong humans to do that crap, right?
Yeah.
What if it was Bigfoot?
Oh.
You know, those Egyptians, they went into like some deep manifestation type crap and meditation. What if they just like hummed him into the,
They must have watched your last podcast.
Yeah. They were probably like, we gotta get the Bigfoot in here.
Also, another dumb conspiracy I talked to my dad about is so like, pretty much there's this thing, there's like this picture of like a skull that they found in like ancient civilization. It had a bunch of holes in the side of the head. It was like, they said it was brain surgery, and it said it was successful, except my dad, he shot that one down quickly. He said that they had no grasp of like germs and health and surgery and stuff, so which makes sense because it was like thousands of years ago. But they said it was some dumb ancient practice that like there were like dark souls or demons in their head, so they would like drill into your head and, you know, get them out. Except there's big veins running in the back and through your head, so if they like drilled right there, then like heaps of like dark red blood will like gush out, and then that was a demon.
Yeah, I watched this one video.
Those guys are stupid.
I watched this one video. It was like a guy. It was a pilot dude reacting to plane conspiracies.
I saw that guy.
Yeah, the conspiracies like kind of made sense until I saw his like analysis of them. Some of them said that in a plane crash, the airplane company wants you to die to avoid lawsuits, but that doesn't make any sense because the family the families can sue them. You don't need to be on the plane to sue the airplane company.
Yeah, but like, so I watched the same video and like they were saying so like usually when you're gonna have a crash landing, pilots tell you to like duck over and like cover your head and stuff, except the person that made the dumb TikTok was like, you should actually prop your feet up on the front seat.
Fart?
No. And then just go like that. But then the pilot, he was like, this is stupid. Because, you know, you're going down, you're going to go like this. Your head's going to fly forward right into your kneecaps. And, yeah, that'll leave a mark.
Yeah, that'll probably hurt.
Yeah, you'll probably die.
Yeah.
Release those demons.
Yeah.
For real. I guess what we could talk about, what we missed, is basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Hit that again.
Falcons.
So before they get started, I have a surprise for them in the back of my car. I've already told them about the surprise, but I haven't told them what it is yet. So, like I said, we already talked about this whole basketball thing, and we'll talk about it in a second, but that all got deleted. So, what do you guys tell us about the basketball?
It all started about a year ago, last summer. Us three and our friends from church, we just decided to play basketball, played at a neighborhood hoop. We just played every couple days, and
Trying to get as good as those adults that one time.
yeah, and so it was pretty fun. And we went to the church one day, and there were
Adults.
Oh, are you guys saying whenever you played down here?
yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a year ago.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, no, one time we went to our church and played basketball, and there was like other people there playing
there was
basketball.
like 30-year-old men.
They were a lot
They're all,
better
like,
than us.
Do they
tattoos.
still do that?
I think so.
They were a lot better than us.
It would be tonight.
Oh yeah, it would. We should go.
I think we've gone on a Friday and they weren't there.
No, but Orlando said they go at like 7:30.
Oh. Yeah, they were a lot better than us.
Well, yeah, and then we deemed ourselves the Falcons after a while, and then recently we heard that there might be a basketball tournament that our church is hosting. So we're like, we need to get our act together. And
We called up the whole team.
We started doing boot camp regularly.
Falcons practice 2022.
Pretty fun.
Yep, and then M Empire is sponsoring them, which is me, I guess, because I'm on the team as well. So, M Empire, if you saw on one of the other podcasts, they called me in the middle of the podcast and did a little deal. So,
Yep.
I'm gonna advertise my stuff. So through M Empire.
Yeah.
And then another thing is INA Movies.
Oh,
That is their YouTube channel, INA Movies. Go ahead and explain that.
Well, I haven't started the channel.
Well, yeah, me and my older brother Ivan, 5 years ago, we wanted to be YouTube famous like everybody. So we, whipped out a trick shot video in like 15 minutes, posted that bad boy onto YouTube, and then we kept making YouTube videos. Pretty much how it goes.
Yeah, and then you guys can go subscribe to them. They have quite a bit of followers.
113.
And they also have merchandise.
Apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a shirt.
So
And a phone case.
the channel is
I
capital
can see
I, the fancy ant sign that goes like that.
I've actually mastered how to draw. It's like
Capital A, and then movies.
So whenever this channel hits 100 followers, I'll be dropping my M Empire merch.
on opening
And just
weekend.
just a quick overview one last time. There's M Empire, my company, and then my two businesses are Do It Boys and Alpha Music Productions. Alpha Music Productions is a DJing, so we do weddings, dances, and all sorts of stuff with our DJ equipment, which is all top of the line. And we have an Instagram for it, Alpha Music Productions. We have a Facebook for it, Alpha Music Productions. We have a Google My Business that will be live soon. We do not have a website. Then we have Do It Boys Power Washing, which is our power washing, staining, everything company. We do everything through it that has to do with outside door maintenance, so landscaping, stuff like that. That has a trailer, soon to be LLC. Alpha Music Production has an LLC right there. We have a website for it. Type in doitboys.com. No spaces, no capitals, just doitboys.com. So, and then we have a Google My Business coming up with that one shortly. We have a Facebook for it and not an Instagram. So it kind of switches between those two.
What's a Google My Business?
Google My Business is whenever you search up a business and it has like the business, photos, comments, website.
Yeah.
When you look at McDonald's.
So, yeah.
Does Alpha do any of those have Google My Business?
Yeah, both of them have it. It's coming in the mail, my verification code. So whenever I get that in the mail, I'll type it in and then it's live. So it's ready to go. I just have to get my code for it and then they're live, both of those. So I've been doing a lot of work. I have the LLC for Alpha Music, and Do It Boys is getting an LLC soon, which is a limited liability company. So it's basically a way to ensure your company is more safe and legit. So we're legit. We're on the books. And then M Empire is my management corporation company thing. So we have M Empire. Everyone is hired through M Empire. All of the employees of all the other businesses and things we do. Because we also do flipping cars, which is like fixing them up and selling them, and a bunch of other things like stocks. So everyone gets hired through M Empire. Everyone reps the M Empire merchandise. It's kind of my umbrella of everything wrapped together is M Empire. And I will have an LLC coming for that very shortly too. So that is that explained. We got that. We got motivation. We got life as a teenager.
Conspiracy
The
theories.
Falcons.
We got it all, I think. And so that was the second time filming this podcast. So we're sorry if it may have not been as good as the first one, but I think that one was better, in my opinion.
And longer.
Longer, too. So
Pound it.
thank you guys for watching. Again, I'm Marshall, your host, Ammon, and Henry. So thank you guys for coming on the podcast. Hopefully next time you're on, I won't delete all of the footage. So
Sounds good.
So, second time filming it. This is podcast 8. So thank you guys for watching. See you later. Bye.